Well, I was actually approached. I didn't know about it, and I have to say, as a member of parliament, we get to do a lot of different projects. But this one was very. It had an impact on me personally. It's now, I think, a year and a half ago, but I'm still thinking about it very often because it was a very personal, very impressive encounter, and something that touched me personally a lot as well. So I thought it was a very good way of involving politicians. Let's say, first of all, given that it's an awareness-raising campaign, it's very successful because I wasn't aware. I mean, of course, you're aware that certain diseases exist, but it was this personal encounter showed me very clearly the impact it has on people's lives, what it actually means, and that makes that, whenever in my work the subject comes up, that I can picture much better what it means. No, before this, I don't think I was that much aware of it. As I said again, I mean, roughly, the disease exists, roughly what it is, but what it means in practical terms in day-to-day life, that I wasn't that aware of. And I think, but on the other hand, I have to say, in the encounter that I had with the person that I met, one of the things that struck me is that on the one hand it's a very, very serious disease with a very serious physical impact. At the same time, I was struck by the incredible strength and of this person, and her optimism, and all the things that she was doing, and the way she took her life into her own hands. Well, as a European politician, well, first of all, we can contribute to the awareness-raising campaign. It might be good to be more alert on exchanging best practices and coordinating from the European level, although, of course, it's not formally our competence, it's member states' competence. But I think member states can learn a lot from each other. And I think it's not only a job for politicians, it's also for people themselves. For example, the patients themselves, to exchange experiences across borders and learn from each other, and also formulate their own wishes and demands accordingly. It had a great impact on me personally. It wasn't just a political talk, but I was meeting a young woman my own age, well, young, my age, and that made it so much easier to relate and to understand, because the questions she was dealing with, from her own perspective, of course, would be the questions that I'm dealing with as well. About your partner, your job, having children, having friends, having hobbies and pastimes. I mean, they're day-to-day issues that I'm dealing with as well. So that made it very recognizable, and that made it also very, very touching for me, because it was so close to the things that I'm dealing with in my own life, and that made it a very special encounter. And it was also a very inspiring, very strong young woman. So it gave me a lot personally, and it's been lingering in my mind ever since, and every so many days I think about it, and it definitely had an